Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who hopes you don't pause this show and leave the conversation. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Wednesday night recap of Big Brother. And I thought we had such a fun episode of Big Brother here to talk about. And I think we're going to have a very fun recap here tonight. And joining me, for somebody that I don't think I've gotten to talk to since the draft, it's Aman Adwin. Aman, how are you?
I am great, Rob. So happy to be back. Yeah, it has been a bit, but I've been trying my best to just dive back into the world of Big Brother and the world of Big Brother 27. And the world of Big Brother 27 in particular is quite cracked. So it has been a mountain of work, but I'm just excited to talk about tonight. I thought tonight's episode was so camp. So fun.
So fun. And listen, we have gotten to eat all season long. And you know we're going to eat when we have one of the great cooks of all of Big Brother history here with us. So excited to have back with us. It's Felicia Cannon. Felicia, how are you?
I am doing fabulous. How are you guys, Rob and Aman?
Yes, I'm doing great. And we had so much fun last year when you came back. Of course, so much fun when you played Traders RHAP 2 earlier this year. And we're so excited to get the chance to catch up with you because I know that you are locked in for BB27.
Yes, I am locked in, and it's been a crazy season, and it's just going to get crazier.
Yes. Okay. So we've got a lot to get to here tonight. We do have a presenting sponsor here on a Wednesday night. Those are our friends over at Manta Sleep. You can get 10% off at mantasleep.com with promo code RHAP27. More on that later. Felicia, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
What's new?
No complaints. I'm living life.
Yes. How's work?
Well, so I'm twice retired, and the work that I do, I don't really look at it as work, and I probably shouldn't say that, but I sell real estate. I'm a realtor, and I do marketing with a company called Planet Marketing. So I'm a busy person.
Okay. Yeah. Stay busy. Yeah. Okay.
But neither one of them are 9 to 5s. And so that's why I don't look at it as work, because I truly enjoy doing both of them.
Yes, because, when you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I'm still waiting for that. Yeah.
There you go.
No, I do. I very much enjoy what I get to do. That I just want to make sure I'm abundantly clear on that. Aman, we've got so much to talk about. And this was such a fun night. And I really think that Big Brother 27, they've really raised the game. I feel like as far as these competitions have been so interesting and themed, and they're really we got a new comp for Big Brother.
Yeah.
I was watching tonight and I said, man, they're really coming up with some different comps this year. And I love it because it really puts everybody on equal footing.
Yeah.
They're all really kind of chance. And so the athleticism and all that you had to have before, you don't have to have none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really nice. And I feel like we've been on this sort of upward trend for the past few seasons now, where I feel like every season has one sort of hallmark comp where we're like, that was new. I like that. Bring that back. This definitely, I feel like, is one that we could see return, and maybe you take this sort of murder mystery skin off of it and replace it with something else. But just sort of the like Felicia just said, I like the fact that it is more a little bit of luck, but also a little bit of strategy to it as well. A little bit of social manipulation, all the things that you like in Big Brother distilled into one singular comp. And I thought that was just
they could bring this back every year. I thought that this competition was so fun tonight, and we'll break that all down. Felicia, how are you enjoying Big Brother 27?
I think they've got a great cast. I think that this is probably one of the best seasons for alliances that really aren't alliances. Everybody's lying to everybody. Everybody's laughing and grinning and skinning. Everybody's trying to figure out how to get to the end. And when I tell you that everybody's really is fake aligned with everybody, it is unbelievable.
Yeah, well, I really felt like that we got so much of Vince's inner thoughts in this episode. And, Taryn has chronicled all season long about, the Vince's inner workings. But I really felt like that tonight, Felicia, we were seeing Vince like very proud of himself of like, I'm just telling everybody what they want to hear. Like he's really come into like be really owning that and very proud of himself.
Yeah. If he were to get to the end, he could very well get everybody's vote because he is playing a very good game. Like I said, everybody lying to everybody. Everybody's telling everybody what they want to hear. I mean, like I had to laugh when Morgan said when they walked in and Mickey had won the veto and Riley comes in and she's yaying and Morgan comes in and they show Morgan say, oh, on the outside, I'm yay. And on the inside, it's like, what? That's what everybody's doing this year.
Yeah. I thought it was just such a fun episode from, you were really getting, in Vince's head of like all of the things that he's hoping don't happen, that he has to deal with. You got so much of Rachel and her motivation and what she's trying to do. You got Keanu trying to double deal and doing it not so great. Right. And then also you got Morgan trying to, okay, I see what Lauren's doing. I'm trying to play defense on that. So you had like a bunch of like a few of the characters, and we really got to spend a lot of time with them tonight on this episode. And so so much to get to. But Felicia, let me start with, I know you have some interesting opinions about Rachel as a returning player here in this season. I know it's not a 1-to-1, but you played in a season where Cirie, who hadn't played Big Brother before, but she had played multiple seasons of Survivor, and at that point she had already won the Traitors and had done all these other things, and she comes in as the returning vet. So how do you feel like Rachel has been doing this season?
Well, good and bad. At one point, actually a few weeks ago, I was like, okay, I'm kind of okay with Rachel's game because it seemed like she was trying to be a mentor and, kind of giving people tips on what to do and not to do and what to say and not to say. But I have to say, as a player in the house, I do think, and this is just my personal opinion, I do think that they have an unfair advantage going in. And I think when you it's one thing if you have a house full of all-stars because everybody then is at the same advantage or disadvantage still. But when you take somebody like a Rachel or even a Cirie who hadn't played Big Brother, but has become a reality TV game player, and then you allow them to do things that you don't let everybody else do. I think there's something wrong with that when the prize to get to the end is going to be the same for everybody. Everybody's got to try to have the manipulation of the audience. And then you put somebody in there where on one half of them is saying, oh my God, it's Rachel. Oh, and they're fan basing her. And then the other half is, well, it's Rachel, but I still got to figure out how to beat her. And so they come in with this advantage and they don't realize that all you need is a teeny little bit of an advantage and it can take you a long way.
Yeah.
And she's got that. I mean, I looked at after about the first couple of weeks, I said, okay, clearly she's coming out in these ball gowns and all of that. She didn't come with one suitcase weighing 50 pounds like the rest of the people in the house. She probably has 2 or 3 suitcases weighing 100 pounds, a closet for her long gowns. I said, so what is the rest of the house thinking when they see her doing all of this? So then you almost make people resent her for being there, but nobody's going to say it out loud because they realize they can't say it out loud.
Yeah. It's been so interesting to watch it because, it doesn't really feel like, other than the week that she was HOH, that she's ever really held power. She hasn't dominated the game, but it's wild. Here we are. We're in week 7. Yeah. She hasn't been on the block yet, Felicia.
And she has everybody scared to put her on the block.
It's really been quite amazing to watch this because we got to see a little bit of like returnee Rachel, not only on Big Brother, but recently on the Traitors. And so we kind of sort of like got an understanding as to how she could potentially be in a house on Big Brother again. And I have to say, I'm still kind of surprised because when you think of Rachel Riley in Big Brother, you think of just this loud, bold player who really is does not give a damn what anybody thinks about her, is willing to go toe-to-toe with anybody and everybody. And that still exists. And we saw it in this episode tonight. But there's also still more of like a focus on actually being a bit more of a team player, which I really, really find is like such an interesting balance for her in this house, because she still has that risk for like an appetite for risk, but she's still like framing it in
playing
a
way
like,
more reserved. This is where her experience is kicking in, and she's showing that you can see her eyes spinning when she gets in these one-on-ones, and you can tell that she's really being very calculated in what she says, because she realizes she can't really say everything she's thinking if she wants to go further. So she's playing a good game. When I say she's playing a good game, you know, when she sat in the room with Riley and Kat, when she's sitting in the room with Keanu, when she's sitting in the room with Vinny, and you can see her wheels spinning, thinking about, how do I say this where they don't take it the wrong way? How do I say this where I make them believe that I'm with them when I'm really not? She's playing as a what I want to say. She's playing like a veteran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was such a great moment at the end of the episode where here we are 15 minutes before where Vince has to go to the veto ceremony, and Rachel goes and just like parks it in his room. And basically she's going to run out the clock. You know, she is going to, I know that Vince, the last person he talks to, has all of the sway, and I'm going to sit here, and here comes Keanu.
Here comes Keanu.
And he's like, hey, can I get in there? She's like, I'm in here, Keanu. I'm talking to Vince, okay? He's like, well, I want to get in here. She's like, well, you can't. And I just thought, I love that so much, because anybody else in that house would have said, oh, okay, well, I don't want to ruffle feathers. I guess you can have your turn to talk to him. And Aman, she's like, no, you can't talk to him, okay?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
And I love, you know, you have to you have to be aggressive that way. You really have to, and I'm glad that she's there to sort of like remind people that is a way to play. Like you can sort of be that person that is just adamant about wanting one thing done at a time, not allowing someone else to get in the word. It's great to watch, but at the same time, I'm glad that there are people like Keanu and people like Kelly, or people in the house that will give it back to Rachel as well. Like, not everyone isn't just going to sit there and just always take it. Right. And I think that's also good, because it's like, it's either, you know, what Felicia was talking about earlier, where everyone kind of just, you know, gives her the veteran treatment, or you're also kind of like, well, I mean, it's my season too, girl. Like, you've done this how many times, and now you feel like you can come in and just take over my season. So I'm glad that there are people that are like, they you know, they'll give it back to her. And I'm glad that still Rachel, even with that pushback, is still like, I'm still gonna sit here though. And even if I do have to leave eventually, and even if you do get in here, Keanu, all of this fuss that I just put up, all of like this uncomfortability that I've set in right now, is still gonna wane on Vince. So like, hey, we really won here. Yeah.
And in the end, in the end, she won, because he ended up voting up Lauren and
Katherine,
instead of Rachel.
But Aman, to your point about like the people that give it back to her, I think Rachel needs that. Like, she gets her energy from that. Like, in the house where everybody is just being nicey nice, it was killing her when she had to like get out of the room. I gotta go. And like, I'm leaving. You know, she needs that. That's like what gets her going. Like, that's where her fire comes from.
Yeah. I mean, it's every argument is always a tit for tat with Rachel. It's always a back and forth. It's just like, so, well, you said this. Well, you said this. Well, I did this. Well, you made me say this. Like, she does need that partner to dance with. And sometimes she gets caught up and isn't always the quickest. And that's always fun to watch her do, because even if she's not the quickest, Rachel still won't back down. Like, she will argue you into the ground and still lose the argument, but still win. It's like, it's very Rachel.
But it's the back and forth. It's the conflict. And Felicia, when we compare her with Vince, who we also got to see so much about, like, Vince is so conflict averse. Like, confrontation kills him. It drains his energy. He's the opposite of Rachel, where she gets into it back and forth and it like supercharges her and like she really like thrives under that situation. Vince is the opposite, and he wants to go as far as he can to avoid having that confrontation.
Yes, he needs everybody to like him.
Yeah.
He needs everybody to like him, and Rachel doesn't really care. Now, again, she's playing more strategic now where she realizes she just can't let everybody know she doesn't like him. But she still got more fire. I would love to be in the house with a Rachel. Oh, man, if I could have played with her, oh, my God, that would have been epic.
So would you and Rachel have gotten along well, or do you think that you would have been mixing it up with Rachel?
I think it would have been a combination of both.
Yeah,
I really kind of do. I think I would have been, honestly, I think I would have played kind of like a Will. The way Will is playing.
Yeah.
When he's in one-on-ones, then he says what he wants to say. But when he gets in the group, then he just kind of sits back and listens and watches and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I think I could have played very much the way Will is playing. You know, like I said, I appreciate Rachel, and I would have loved to, like when she had Amy and they were the moms, and I think being an older person, we would have connected. But I think at some point I probably would have had okay, Rachel, you're doing too much.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna see a lot more of between the two of you. I really feel like, because Mama Felicia, you have such an exuberant personality. You're so just, you know, I just feel like you have a very magnanimous personality. But when somebody does cross you, it's very like, oh, I didn't effed up now. And I feel like Rachel really could really, you know, she's definitely someone that has the capacity to do that. And I feel like she would really like run in the opposite direction if she would ever do that. So that's something that I would have loved to have seen go down. But
you know, I'm one of those where even when I see you doing wrong to others, even though I may not appreciate it, it's like, okay, we should. Now, I don't know why y'all letting them do all of that, but I'm still going to just kind of sit back and watch. I don't really jump in till you step on my toe.
Exactly.
When you step on my toe, I got to let you know you stepped on my toe.
2 seasons too early. I'm upset about it now.
Yes. I said, man, if I could have been in there with her, OMG.
You know, Vince, back to what you were saying about Vince, though, Rob, like, you know, grow a pair, bro.
Oh.
It's getting a bit too much. I'm sorry. Like, look, maybe it's a bit, maybe I see a bit of myself in Vince as well. So maybe it's like one of those things where you're holding up a mirror. So you're kind of like, is that what I'm,
Aman,
is that how
I felt
play?
that myself of like honestly watching Vince play Big Brother. I've reevaluated so much in my own life in terms of like, Vince has helped me so much where it's like, oh yeah, don't be Vince now.
I totally see it as well. Like I feel like I've like reevaluated conversations that I've had where people have been like, Aman, like, get over it. Why are you making yourself a martyr? Right. And I'm like, oh damn, this is
one minute he's talking with such boldness, and then you see him crying. They've cried more this season than any season I think I've ever seen. Everybody's crying. It's like, oh, stop it. Stop all that crying. You guys need to stop it. And I do think Vinny is an emotional player. And I do think some of his crying and all that has been fake. And he said that. But I do think he really is more of a caring, sensitive person. But, you know,
But is he really, Felicia? Do you think he really is a caring, sensitive person? Because I feel like that basically, like, and because he drops the mask sometimes, that like all of his caring seemingly is like for selfish reasons. Like I can't think of the time that he actually was like putting somebody else's interest above his own.
Yeah,
he has pretended to care about people.
I think someone called him online. I don't know who it was. I'm sorry, but I'm giving you credit here. They called him a weepy lumberjack. And I think that is the perfect description, because it's like you have someone who is clearly has a mind for the game, clearly kind of knows how to socially position himself, can be cutthroat, but is still going to like, cover it in this veneer of like, oh my God, what was me? And it's like, you know, he is like one of the more strong, like socially strong people in the house, and it's, you kind of want to see him bathe in the blood, but
yeah,
I guess that's kind of just his play style. It's kind of just like,
yeah.
You know, I really feel like it's giving Nicole Franzel again, but in a different skin. It really is to me.
Yeah, it can be an effective strategy in terms of, you know, how you can move in the game, but you know, he really has just been so weak in terms of like, okay, this is what I want to have happen, and he's really just, how do I keep everybody from being mad at me? He said it so many times tonight, Felicia.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why I say there's a part of him that really is a sensitive people person, because if he was really cutthroat, Rachel would have been on the block tonight.
Oh, he's not cutthroat. Definitely not.
But he was worried about, and here's what I don't understand. If she goes up, she goes home. The whole house wants her gone. They just nobody's going to say it out loud except for Keanu. Yeah. You know, Mickey, that's part of the reason why Mickey got in trouble, because she said it out loud and they ran back and told her.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Keanu, because I know that you also have been impressed with him, Felicia, because I think it's easy to, you know, goof on Keanu in terms of like some of the things that he does. But I know that you've been impressed with how at least he has a backbone at times.
Yeah. Now I'll be honest, Keanu has irritated me. I like him. I like the fact that he's a survivor. So he's been basically fighting for his life from the beginning of the game. And I like the fact that every time he's needed to come off that block, he has gotten off that block. I do think he's had some dumb gameplay though, like when he said, I'm gonna take each one of you down one by one, even though that's what everybody has to do. You just don't say it out loud. You don't get to say it out loud. And then I don't know, he irritated me once in that veto where, I mean, without even blinking, he said, Morgan, Riley, Ashley, and Will. Bam, who do you want out? 1, 2, 3, 4, you got to go. And there was something about that just like, well, dang, why'd you pick those 4? I mean, there's other people Vinny has done you wrong and Rachel has done you wrong. And so how did you pick those 4? And so there's different things that he has said and done where on one hand, he can be he can be somewhat bullish, just like Rachel. And I don't know that I actually call it bullish. They just have strong personalities. And so they have the ability to offend quick. And sometimes I don't think they even realize they're doing it.
Yeah. They're the only 2 people in the house who don't mind saying something that other people will object to.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're very self-assured in what they say, specifically Keanu, very a tone of like self-righteousness. He can really sell himself on his own ish half the time.
But he has a false sense of his ability. He really does have a false sense of where he stands in the house.
Yeah. Yes. The Lulu is strong with this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he had such an interesting position this week where he's like, I have a final 2 with Rachel, but Lauren and Katherine said they'll vote for Rachel in the end. So now I can't beat Rachel. So I want to get her out of the game.
Go.
You know, she's got to go, but I can't do it. Like I need Vince to do it. And this is the perfect time for Vince. You're like, sure, she's my final 2. I need her to go this week.
Yeah. It's either one way or the other, bro. You kind of have to either pull the trigger or make it happen, like in some way or some form or the other. But I think that really just speaks to Rachel again. Like I just feel like she has created this monster image of herself that makes it so hard for people to want to pull that plug. Because that's the biggest hump. You just need somebody else to do it, and then the floodgates open. But if no one else is going to take that shot, then it feels like the thing that you're just not allowed to do. And I think
they feel like, even though they want her gone, they feel like as long as she's there, they have a target there that's bigger than them. And they think that, you know, here's what people always make the mistake, though. You leave them there too long and you can't get them gone. And I really believe that Rachel and Keanu could still sit in those final 2 chairs. And it would be interesting to see who they pick as the winner.
That's a potent final 2.
It would be such a fun ending to the season.
Yeah,
it was such a great move. Things that were looking not so good for Rachel at the beginning of the week last week, where she puts Riley up on the block, and it was like, the house really didn't like this. But then, as the week went on, she ends up creating this 5-person, or she becomes part of this 5-person alliance that includes her and Vince and Morgan. And they have this thing that they can point to for Vince of like, hey, Vince, there's safety here. You're in this 5-person alliance. And I just think that paid so many dividends for Rachel this week, where they were able to point Vince back to this other thing like, hey, you're safe in this other group. And I think had they not done that on Rachel's HOH, Rachel would be on the block this week.
Oh, yeah. But then remember that they're also in the, a 4 or 5 with Keanu, Rachel, Vince, Lauren, and Kat. Or no, it was Kelly, and was it Lauren? Kelly and Lauren. So he's in a 5-person, and that's why he was really wavering, trying to figure out, okay, which one of these 5 am I going to upset? And now I think last week when he voted with those guys to vote out Riley, he drew the line. Because he let them know which side he was really picking to stay loyal to. Although Keanu came right back and still thinks he's aligned with him and there's something on the other side. So it's really, that's what's baffled me about this year is everybody just keeps jumping over these lines.
Aman, there was a big debate last week of, if this situation unfolds where Mickey comes down off the block, what should Vince do? Should he vote out Riley or should he vote out Morgan? That looking back at how this week has played out, do you think it would have been better for Vince had he left Riley in the game and voted out Morgan?
I don't know. It's really hard to say.
Who's been in his ear all week, telling him keep Rachel off of the block.
Yeah.
And I don't know why she's doing that. It's like, Morgan, what is wrong with you? You guys need to take her out now while you have the opportunity. You won't get it again.
To me, it's like, it's interesting because I feel like Vince is really in his position that I don't necessarily know is always deserved by him, but I feel like no matter what, on either side, people are going to buy this, oh, Vince, you messed up, bro, but come on over here. So I do feel like if he votes out Morgan, maybe there's a bit more ire that comes his way because then he has the forces of that be with Rachel and that entire side of the house that is like, we won't rest until he goes. And I do think that maybe there's a way that he can still slip out of that. But also, voting out Riley really undercuts.
But who's on that side that's left? It's that at that point where he votes out Morgan, Morgan's gone. Like Will is coming for him. Like Rachel's mad at him no matter what, and then Ashley would be upset
Will
with him.
Ashley.
Mickey was pissed that Riley went home.
Yeah. I don't think that Ashley and Rachel they're not exactly like just non-factors here. Like I feel like if they wanted to try to sway the house all towards Vinny, I think that it could happen.
I just think we don't have to spend too much time on this. I just think it's interesting because really I think Morgan played a big part in Rachel staying safe this week. And if Rachel ends up being a part of Vince ultimately going out of the game, I think that he can look back and had Morgan not been there, I think that Rachel probably ends up going home this week.
For sure.
Yeah.
I agree with you there.
Let's talk a little bit about everything that we got from this episode where we saw Mickey and Morgan got into it at the start of the episode. And Felicia, Mickey and Morgan, remember the Jimmy week? They were so close. How has it come to this?
Well, I think Mickey did too much talking. The last couple of weeks, when she said out loud, Rachel got to go. And then she just started making comments with other people in the room. And I think that made everybody uncomfortable. And then it's like, oh, okay, Mickey, you got to be quiet. You're saying too much. And I feel bad for Mickey, though, because she doesn't realize she's another one of those that doesn't have a strong sense of awareness about people and what they're doing, because all of them are playing her now. And it's like, dang, Will and Ashley and Morgan were all tight. And then all of a sudden now nobody wants her there. And they're all making her believe they want her there, even Vinny. And they're all willing to vote her out. And she has no idea that they're all feeling like this.
Yeah. But they can't get rid of her.
They can't
Nikki's
get rid
not
of
leaving.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love it. The fact that she won that veto, I said, yes.
Yeah.
Because it forced him to have to put somebody else up. And so I think that's, again, like Keanu, even though Keanu has irritated me so many times, I still love it when he's forced against the wall. And even Kelly, when they're pushed against the wall, they come out with gloves on and they get where they need to go. And so, you know, a Keanu, a Kelly, a Mickey, a Rachel, those in the final four. Oh, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is just a big awakening for Mickey, really, as to just how unstable her position really is.
Right.
And I think watching somebody like Morgan, who was just on the block, survive, and then all of a sudden you're the person that's on the block, it's like throwing her for a loop. It's like, I don't actually have the support that I thought that I did.
Exactly.
And I think that, like, girl, some of your chickens are coming home to roost, because the way that you have been moving has just been a little, it's been a little untrustworthy, girl. So I feel like maybe in the back of her mind, she's like, I'm kind of losing it how I get it. So yeah.
What would happen on a new Mickey HOH? You know, the first HOH really just, threw her into like a total tailspin for weeks that it's taken for her to still come down from that. Do we know who's her target at this point? Is it Keanu?
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad target. I mean, I feel like if anything, I feel like what you'd probably do
is it Vince for putting her up on the block this week?
It's not a bad shout either. I think that she tries to collect.
I think if she won HOH, I could see her putting up a Keanu, a Vince. I could see her putting up Lauren or Kat or Kelly.
It could be interesting. Interesting outcome going into next week. Okay. I'd love to bring Will back into this. Felicia, you said that Will was somebody who you could see yourself playing like, and they're really doing such a good job of giving us Will moments, because sometimes a little bit during this season, he's been a little bit invisible, but I think they figured out what to do with him. And so we got the Will DVR segment. Now, first off, Felicia, do you have cable or do you have streaming?
Both.
Both.
So sometimes both.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, Will, he loves cable. He's not a streaming guy.
That doesn't surprise me. He's old school, you can tell.
He's old school. I guess, like, he's excited that you can sort of watch things on fast forward on the DVR, that you can't really do that on streaming.
Yeah,
he's real old school.
Very old school, because I mean, I am obviously not as old as Will, but I still remember a time. I'm, old enough to remember a time where that was not a thing. You could not fast forward and rewind and pause the television. So I remember, I had a TiVo in my house growing up.
That was like what it was like. Will was doing TiVo to everybody.
But I've like kind of like since gotten over it and understand it as something that should just be a thing. So it's interesting that someone is still sort of like, oh man, this is great. Fast forward, rewind. This is some good stuff right here. I'm like, really, bro? Okay.
But Felicia, this is the second time we've got a segment about Will. He's not really listening to what these people are saying in the house. He's like, he's zoning out and trying to fast forward.
Okay. The time they showed him where he was trying to stay awake and falling asleep, while she was talking, it was like, oh my God. But somehow, because I was worried actually when he landed on the block, 3 times in a row?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I don't know, it's like he got his footing.
He really
initially,
settled in.
You're correct. He wasn't, I don't think he was really connecting. He didn't really know how to connect. I think initially when you come in and they don't have as many 35 and above year olds as we had. Yeah. So there's only 3 or 4 people that are older and everybody else is in their 20s. And so he's sitting there thinking, oh my God, what do I do with this? And it is a lot. And you have to figure out how to come down to their level and start thinking like so he's got to put himself in the mindset of his kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like
that's how you have to exist. Okay, I got to act like, what would my kids do in this situation? That's probably what'll work for me.
Yeah. I feel like the cultural divide between the age groups is like so much more pronounced nowadays, just given just like the quickness of social media and everything. Like even 10 years ago, I feel like a 20-something-year-old and a 50-something-year-old would have gotten on a lot easier. I feel like today's 20-year and 50-year-olds are like it's way two different worlds. So like again, it's very pronounced, like how sometimes being an older house guest is just such a damn advantage in this game. It really is. But he's navigating it pretty well. I feel like he's the perfect soundboard for a lot of the people in that house.
Everybody trusts him. Everybody comes to him. And I'm wondering when somebody's going to say that out loud again, when they get down to about, 5 or 6 and say, now, we can't let Will sit in one of those final 2 chairs because he hasn't pissed anybody off. He might actually win. Somebody's going to say that in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I really believe that, because they're going to realize that he is a threat to let go to the end.
I can see it.
Felicia, how did you overcome this when there were, 20-somethings in the house with you?
I think because I'm close to my son is 26 now. At that time, he was 24. And most of his friends, I won't say good friends with, but I interact with them a lot. So when they come to the house, they are, hey, mom. And I ask them how they're doing. How's work? And so I become like a mentor, so to speak, with a lot of them, feeding them advice. And so I hear their conversation a lot. So I know how to engage with them. And then our son still hangs with us a lot. I mean, a lot of people say, why did Jair go with you guys? I said, he actually enjoys it. So a lot of times when we take vacation, he's with us. When we go do things, he's with us. And so I'm used to being around 20-something-year-olds and talking their language and their jargon. And then I'm just a people person. I just like people. And even, I remember saying this to Bowie Jane when at kind of right before Cam went home, and Bowie Jane got irritated when Cam, I'm trying to remember if Cam put her on the block, but she got frustrated, and then she made HOH, and she was trying to pretend like I was never friends with Cam and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, girl, you've been up in Cam's HOH every time he makes HOH. You up there skinning and grinning and all this kind of crazy stuff. And then she got mad at him and told him, don't talk to me anymore. And I can't wait for you to go home. And I remember pulling her inside, and I said, Bowie Jane, I said, and I don't even know why I'm telling you this, because this is helping your game. I said, but you do realize now that you guys have let him stay here long enough to be in the jury. So you can't be stupid with him, because he gets to vote. Mm-hmm. So if you want his vote, then you still got to figure out how to get along with him while he's in this house. You guys let him stay.
Yeah.
And so it's like, my husband was saying today, because again, everybody's perpetrating, because he's still when I tell you, my husband recorded everything. And so he came back, and this person didn't like you, and this person talked about you. And I said, Dwayne, it's a game. I said, after like when me and Sari and Jared fell out, when I found out they were the ones that were really trying to get me out of that house week 5 when Izzy went home, he said, yeah, but you still laughed and talked with her every day. I said, well, you have to, because
it's the name of the game, baby.
That's the game. I said, I didn't trust her anymore game wise, but I couldn't let her know that because I'm still in the house with her. I said, and I actually still wanted to trust her, and I kept opening that door. And it seemed like every time I opened that door, my gut was telling me still, she's throwing you under the bus. She's throwing you under the bus. What you gonna do? So I said, it's a fine line between who do you trust and who do you throw under the bus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get them before they get you, and you don't know who to trust. And this season, I think more than any season I've ever seen, none of these alliances, nobody's sticking with anybody.
No, nothing seems that solid in this house.
Nothing. See, on one person's side, they even so tonight, like Vinny and Morgan, when they're sitting there and she's sitting in his lap and he's rubbing her back, and she really believes that he has her all the way to the end. And I don't believe he does.
Yeah. And the amount of time that they've been spending together is definitely a little interesting.
Yeah. What's going on with that, Felicia?
I'm trying to figure out if, one minute they're like they're bros and they're besties, and then the next minute they look like I'm seeing a little bit of like some romantic intimacy trying to play into this, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah.
Some people that come into the house with significant others, have agreements about what's appropriate, what's too far, what's not. So, who are we to really say the dynamic? But it's
so difficult to know because we have Vince who's in here, and that we have to question, okay, is there anything that Vince is doing that he is really feeling? So he had mentioned that he has a girlfriend, and his girlfriend gave him permission to do whatever he has to do to win the game. So does Vince actually feel anything for Morgan, or does Vince feel like he is flirting with Morgan to play her?
And that's the piece I really haven't figured out yet. Now, I think Morgan believes that they really are great friends.
Yes.
I think for Vince, I think it's a means to an end. I think he genuinely likes her as a friend, but the minute she becomes a hindrance to his game, he'll boot her out and won't think twice about it. Mm-hmm. Where she was really crying and genuinely upset when she had to pick between him and Zach.
Yes.
I don't think Vince would care if they had decided to put Morgan out and the house went that way and he realized he was on the wrong side of that boat, he would have voted Morgan out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it could be maybe a little bit of both. I feel like anybody that sort of like validates Vince in what he is feeling is going to, gain favor with Vince. And I feel like Morgan does a pretty good job at like doing that fine dance with like telling him how it is, but also sort of trying to safeguard his feelings. So, I think I saw somebody in the chat say that she's sort of his work wife. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it does sort of seem like a working relationship. Then, well, I don't know exactly who's going to benefit more from it. I mean, right now, Morgan really has sort of like done a complete 180 in terms of her positioning in the house and his HOH. So I think that Morgan has really served herself well here and could potentially be one of the only people that Vince actually does want to trust going into the end of the game. So we'll see. We'll see.
I want to talk about this veto competition, maybe with the second best veto competition after the one where the house guests were spying on a big celebrity who was staying in a hotel. And that celebrity was none other than our guest tonight, Miss Felicia. And Felicia, could you just talk a little bit about how that came to be and like the concept of what they came to you with of being the celebrity that was being, stalking is serious, but I wish it was a less serious word I could use.
So
creeped on.
I was actually supposed to just, they took different scenarios of eating different things, and they were supposed to start with the letter C, whatever like that is. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking like I'm peeking in on the house guests, and that look cranberries, that kind of something, trying to get them to false start.
You were so perfect during that. That was so fun. Your delivery was so on point.
It was actually fun, in fact, and all of that stuff they had me eating, and of course they had me wear the robe, and after a while I was like, okay, now I need y'all to know that I'm actually starting to get full. I won't eat any food for the rest of the day because I'm really, I'm snapping these carrots and all of that. I said, I'm actually tired of eating, so we got to be done soon.
Yeah, Mr. B, I'm full. I'm done.
Full. But it really was a blast. Like I said, out of the blue, I just got a text and they asked, could they call me and talk to me about something? They told me they wanted to know if I'd be interested in doing helping with a competition. It wouldn't be live with me on the screen. I would be pre-recorded and plopped in there. And I said, sure. I said, okay, now what are you going to really have me doing? I don't want you out there. I don't want to be out there looking crazy. And I said, I'm tired of being that role that you guys want me to be. And so they said, no, it'll be fun. And so I said, okay.
It was fun. And it was a huge moment, right? That was the one that KC won the veto for Keanu.
Yes.
Yeah.
The veto for Keanu. Yes.
Yeah, I bet you weren't expecting that outcome.
Okay. But I was glad that happened too. And even though, again, that was at a time when Keanu really was acting goofy, but it was still just the fact that everybody wanted him gone, and then he ended up being saved. So it forced him to have to do something else. I love those moments in the game.
Yeah. Was that the same week that he told everybody that you're all going home? Was that the same?
No, that was actually earlier.
Oh.
This was a little bit later, because that happened, I think, in like the second week or the third week. And that's
Okay. All right. So this competition tonight, Aman, this was just
actually, it might have been, now that you say that, because it was the second veto when I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big turning point in the season. It was really like,
wait a minute, that was the second veto.
Keanu was really like the house pariah at that point.
Yes.
And, we've come so far since then. And so we end up we have this competition tonight, and Aman, this was just so fun in terms of like, first off, like everybody got dressed up, and
I like that.
They went to go do this. And tell me if I'm dating myself too much, but this was very much like the Princess Bride here, with you have which cup has the poison in it.
Yes, very much like the Princess Bride. The only thing I don't like about the competition is that the white wine did not look like white wine. That looked like toxic urine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what this powder is that like.
And also,
I was trying to figure out, how did they actually make them get this? And so it must have been something that automatically made their mouth fuzz up like that.
But it's interesting because you would think like if it was like an Alka-Seltzer or something, like when it's in the liquid,
it would already.
Like, what is this chemical that when it touches your mouth only that it makes everything?
Maybe they have something in their mouth already or something like that, and we just didn't see them do it, and then it interacts with what's in their mouth.
Well, because I don't think so, because then they would know. They would know the outcome
science correspondent,
and it wouldn't be a. Because I think they actually really were. It was a game of chance, and they didn't know who actually had the something. Because even my husband was looking at the glass. He said, "Well, you can see something settled in the bottom of the white wine." I said, "But you can also see it in the red wine."
Yeah,
there was like a little fuzz at the bottom of the cup. So I don't know how they did it.
Yes, but it was so fun, and so everybody has to come through, and you have to like. There were so many aspects to it where you have to pick your target, and so it's a little bit has like the knockout comp element to it. Okay, I'm gonna go heads up against this person, and then also it was that you have to be able to trick the other person of like, who can I dupe? What's their perception of me? Felicia, would you have been good at this game?
I don't know. I want to say yes, because I want to say by this time they've been around each other enough to know how to read them and know when they're lying.
Yeah.
So for the most part, that's how Mickey ended up winning, because she was able to have a decent perception of when somebody was lying. But I remember when, was it Kelly with Mickey, where she said, "I know when Mickey's lying."
Yes.
So I can
she
tell.
Didn't.
And then Mickey was lying, and she ended up picking the wrong glass.
Yeah, I thought that was such an interesting moment in the competition. And I went back, I watched it a second time because Kelly's like, Mickey's a bad liar. I can tell. And Kelly says, "Mickey, do I have the cup that's poisoned?" And Mickey like looks down and is like, "No, you do not." And then Kelly's like, "All right, well then bottoms up." And like, I thought that Mickey actually did like have a pretty like strong tell of that. She like looks away when she says the thing, but then Kelly was not. So I mean, can't imagine Kelly overestimated her talents in an area.
Right.
I mean, I feel like Kelly has such a weird personality as it is, that anytime that she's not acting weird,
she was so weird during this competition.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's like the weirdness is already it's canceling out the weirdness. So it's like, when like this is a weird, but it's a different kind of weird. So you must she's just weird. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I would suck at this game, to be honest, because like, I mean, I'm just thinking about just like playing Goose Goose Duck. Shout out to Puya and the crew. I'm always being accused of lying as it is. So I'm like, if you're already going to think that I'm lying, then I feel like I have to do the double fake, but then the double fake becomes the fake within itself, which also becomes the other double fake. So I'm like, what do? You might as well just.
Yeah. Well, Felicia, I think it really speaks to the tenor of this house and this was a competition that Rachel wasn't in. Almost nobody ever, like maybe once or twice, almost nobody switched where it was like, hey, Felicia, here's your cup. And almost every single person was like, well, I don't want to insult the person by implying that they gave me the wrong one. So I'm just going to drink what they gave me because I don't want to make it seem like I'm calling them out.
Right.
And that became like such a meta strategy, interesting, where it was like, oh, it's kind of like, when you're taking an exam and it's like, oh, well, I haven't pressed B in a while, so it must be B. And I'm like, well, everyone's different. So it's not going to be the same. Like the thought process shouldn't be the same, but people still kind of like followed that trend. So that was very interesting.
I think they were trying to outsmart each other too, as far as, okay, they're going to think that I think they're telling the truth, or they're going to think that I think they're lying.
Yeah.
And they're going to think that I think they're being fake, and they're going to give me the wrong one because they're going to want to switch, but they're really giving me the right one.
Inconceivable.
So that, it really was a mental strategy on what do I think they would actually really do.
Yeah. So there were so many great moments in this. First off, you have Ava, who forgot she poisoned herself. That was really fun. Just like right off the jump. Will trying to throw the competition. Felicia, we saw through the episode where Mickey's like, oh, Will, you'll definitely use the veto on me. And he's like, oh, yeah, definitely. I'll totally do that. And Ava also wants Will's like, I don't even want to play in this competition.
Right.
And now here he is. And he's the only person he's trying to get poisoned.
Right. And he actually had the glass that wasn't poisoned. And then he's like, he said, I got to say something to let him give me a hint. He said, because I need to be poisoned. And so that was with Keanu, wasn't it? And he said, he's like, I got to pick up on it. Or was it Keanu or was it Vince?
Let me see. So,
it was Vince, actually.
Yeah. So, Vince goes to Will the first time. So, Will ends up getting the red hat from Vince first. And then Keanu ends up going to him next. And then Keanu ends up poisoning himself. He's trying, Will's trying to get the poison and he can't from Keanu. Yeah. And then it happens again where Keanu comes to Will and Will is trying to get out of the competition. And then Keanu's like, are you sure you don't want this red wine?
Right.
And Will's like, okay, I get he's so bad at trying to trick me. I can see through this and I will take his trick because I want to be out of this competition.
Well, and then think about where
just kill me.
Vince is trying to go to Mickey, and Keanu keeps saying, "Don't you want to come to me?"
Yes. Well, that was another big part of this, Aman, because that they all want Mickey, the house target, out, and nobody is going to her.
I don't understand.
They skip her for a whole round, and then Vince tries to go to Mickey, and Keanu's like, I'll have garçon.
Wait up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, you up the amount of chances that she has to drink. It's always going to be 50-50. You just, it'll compound, get her out. But yeah. I think that they really they over strategize themselves out of a win there.
But Felicia, it was such another great example of Vince of like how he just, backs down so easily where, okay, Keanu is like, hey, I want in. He's like, well, now I can't try to go and give the poison to Mickey. Keanu's making me look bad. So now I have to just go forget about Mickey and give it to him.
Like, boy, are you playing to win or are you playing to lose? But forget about Keanu. He ain't your target.
Yeah. And with love,
shows you how he really is. That's why I say at his core, even though he tries to play like a mean and kind of like spiteful guy, not caring. He really, at his core, I think he really is more of a caring person than he even wants to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Because he does care what people think.
And so then Keanu calls him over to say hey, I'll have one of those. And basically Keanu runs himself out of the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
just stupid.
It's I think he kind of, again, got a little bit too mixed up in being the Italian character that he was portraying as well.
We showed some of his acting stuff on the slop this week from his
Vince's dungeon master stuff.
No, Vince's acting, not Keanu's acting.
Yes. Oh yeah. Okay. Clips as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think, Aman, about then the play acting of not only did we see people die, but they laid on the ground the whole rest of the competition.
In that same position. It's like, I even told Dwayne, I said, okay, these guys are really acting tonight. They're playing these roles.
They perished. They physically passed away. Okay.
Right.
Tongues out and everything. They said, if I'm going to be dead body number 2, I'm going to be the best damnest dead body number 2 there ever was. And honestly,
get
the screen time.
I ain't mad at them.
Get the screen time.
Yeah. So I really like the commitment to the bit here. But ultimately it comes down to Vince and Mickey, and Mickey ends up beating Vince.
Yeah.
And Mickey comes down off the block, and Felicia was going crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely bonkers.
I was glad when Mickey came down, and like I said, I really wanted to see Vince put up Rachel just for the drama that would be in the house for the next 2 or 3 days. Yeah. Man, that would be epic.
Yeah. So Vince has to have this renomination, and he is trying to figure out who it should be. And Lauren is pushing Vince to put Rachel up on the block. And now here comes Morgan to play defense. She doesn't want that to happen. And, Morgan and Lauren, they have been rivals this season, that they both were, the potential that there was the will they, won't they of what's Zach going to do? Who's he going to pick? Morgan wanted to be picked. Lauren didn't want to be picked. But now here they are again on the opposite sides of an argument now with trying to get Vince to do what he wants to do. And it was interesting. Felicia, Lauren says she sees through Morgan, but Morgan still, it's not going to stop her.
Right. It's not. And Morgan ends up getting the upper hand because they don't put up Rachel. They put up Lauren. They put up Kat. And I didn't watch any live feeds today. A part of me actually hopes that, I won't say hopes. It's going to be interesting. I think that they want you to believe that Kelly is the target now, but I don't know. For some reason, I think Kelly might end up staying, and they might put out Lauren. I think it would be a wasted HOH for Lauren to go, because I don't think that
Katherine
Katherine. I keep saying Lauren. I think Katherine could go home right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be a toss up between. Now, here's what's going to be funny: if Kelly wins the
blockbuster.
Oh my God! Now, yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually hoping Kelly wins that blockbuster, and then they have to pick between
Ava and Katherine. What are there a lot of votes against Ava to take her out of the house?
I don't think anybody will vote for Ava. I think they'll.
Yeah.
I think Katherine
unanimous.
It'll be unanimous.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think Ava will get a single vote because she really is a pawn.
I'd love to talk about Katherine a little bit, because Aman, Katherine got like very little airtime in this episode for ultimately being the person who Vince puts up as the renom. And really the only airtime she got in the episode was when she was sucking up to Vince during the let's go around the table and say something nice about each other.
Yeah. There really should be an impending scorched earth edit for Katherine, being that her showmance was just evicted. But it's kind of interesting because it's like we kind of already know how production has sort of been navigating the whole Riley situation. So it's actually not that surprising to me that maybe they are just trying to like put as much distance from like that sort of narrative, even as far as Kat is concerned, because it might just be too much of a headache to really even continue to talk about. But yeah, I just don't think that. I think that Katherine really, I think that she spent so much time with Riley that a lot of like her agency and a lot of like her soul in the game has sort of just been sucked out. And I feel like she's just really not
But she never, think about it, she never really had an active role, period. Her only face became through Riley.
Yeah.
And so when he left, now it's like her relevance is gone. Although I have seen her play, like I thought it was phenomenal when her and Lauren sat in there and told Keanu that, you know, and that talk about a strategic move, just by saying to him, oh yeah, if you guys sat in the final 2 chairs, oh, I'd have to give my vote to Rachel. Oh, that was epic. Because that he hadn't even thought like that. That's what I'm saying. His unawareness of how people thought about him, he just knew that if he got to the end, he'd get everybody's vote. And when they said that out loud to him, and he had to think about that and said, oh, shoot, okay, I got to get Rachel gone. And so that was the first time I saw her ever even show any strategy in the game. She's always really just kind of been quiet and over in the corner. I'm like, it's like she ain't even, she's just sliding through.
If Katherine goes home on Thursday, it's going to be a very like messy and complicated situation, because I feel like Riley's going to be like sitting there in Studio City waiting for her to get out of the house. Meanwhile, her relatives are like, no way, Jose. We're not doing this.
Her dad is live on Instagram saying all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
He's defending his daughter, saying, CBS, what'd you do? And you let him treat my daughter wrong and blah, blah, blah. And so, oh, yeah, that's going to be a mess.
I don't know. And the family's going to be like, you say, you know, stay away. Hey, you get a job, stay away from her. And then I think she's going to be like, hey, I'm back with my boyfriend.
This is about to be some love after lockup shit, I'm telling you.
And Felicia, the more the parents say, hey, this is a bad choice, sometimes that's, you know, a little bit more of, this is more exciting.
Sometimes you push them towards the person you're trying to keep them away from.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fine line. But you know that the last day or so before he went home, I sensed that when he kept trying to tell her how much he cared for her, and she kept saying, I think a part of her realized that she didn't like some of the behavior that she got from him, but she didn't want to just pull completely away because she knew he was depending on that relationship. But I think she knew he was going, and that's why she just kind of appeased him.
Yeah. It'll be a complicated situation for sure that the family is all going to have to deal with. I'd love to talk about, on a much lighter note, the Rachel, Vince, Keanu of it all. Because, Felicia, this was like a sitcom where Vince finally talks to Rachel and he tells her, you know, it's Keanu is pushing me to get you on the block. And he's like, don't say anything to Keanu. And of course she goes to Keanu. She's like, hey, Keanu, you dummy, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you telling Vince to put me up on the block? He's like, what? I don't say that. That's crazy. and he changed his story so many times. And she's like, well, I didn't believe him, but now you're making me believe him for the way you're acting.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to Vince and tells him, and now the three of them, they have there's no trust there. So it's going to be interesting to see how the three of them move forward, because each one of them realizes the other one is lying. They realize that all three, they're going to realize that Keanu is trying. Well, all three of them are really doing the same thing. All three of them are trying to figure out how to play both sides of these two people. Rachel wants to stay good with Keanu and Vinny. Vinny wants to stay good with Keanu and Rachel. Rachel wants to stay, or Keanu wants to stay good with both of them, because depending on who leaves, they still want to have the other one.
Yeah. And even more complicated, it's like Rachel's like, well, I've got to make Vinny think that we are not on the same page. Like, we have to be fighting or Vinny's going to come for me. And Keanu is like, okay, well, you know, and he really is, I guess he's got to make Rachel think that maybe he's not with Vince. It's, you know, the whole thing is a mess.
I mean, it's like the veto competition. It's like the double fake of the double fake. It's like, you know, do you take the Keanu poison? You take the Rachel poison. It's pick your literal poison. I just really feel like Keanu, if you could just get out of your own way and
he shouldn't even went back and told he shouldn't have went back and told Vinny that Rachel held a conversation with him. Sometimes you got to just hold and just watch people.
And Rachel actually, like wants to work with you, bro. Like
Yeah.
there's so much to be gained from the two of you being down pat together, but
Yeah.
you just can't let it happen.
Yeah. Okay, one more thing from the episode. We got to talk about the Rachel and Kelly of it all, where we mentioned Lauren's birthday party and we went around the table and everybody was saying something nice and Rachel wasn't having anything of it. And then you had Kelly, that instigator, who ended up telling everybody, oh, you see, Rachel was getting so upset when Katherine was saying nice things about Vince. It bothered her so much, and Ashley clocked it and then reported that back to Rachel. And then Rachel, who had been drinking the red wine that wasn't poisoned, and she went out, and Kelly goes to sit in the hammock. And Rachel's like, I was going to sit there. There's no room for you, Kelly.
Yeah. And then she goes to give her a hug. No.
I don't want a hug. I don't want a hug. Like, what?
Honestly, I'm kind of like slightly Team Kelly in this situation, because I'm like,
yeah, I am too, because I thought Rachel went a little over the edge, and I thought that was rude. I mean,
Rachel,
in the end,
she did it in front of everybody, so I'm not really sure why Kelly just stating what happened in front of everybody to see is instigating it. The real instigator here was Ashley, by being like, I see what you're doing. You see what who's doing, because you see what Kelly's doing, talking about what we all saw Rachel do. Like,
but I'll say in Rachel's defense, you know, Kelly, who has been very anti-Rachel all season long, like Rachel is the one who's actually being real. Kelly is the one who's being fake by saying she wants to give Rachel a hug. She doesn't want to give Rachel a hug. She hates Rachel.
Yeah, I mean, sure. In that moment, maybe not the best to, you do know that you did instigate something. Maybe giving the hug is a little off-putting, so I can agree there. But I'm also like, girl, like Rachel, you drink the wine. You drink the wine.
Yeah. So we'll see, and it could be very well Kelly who goes home on Thursday night.
It actually really could be. I mean, honestly, if they were smart, Kelly is the one I'd send home, because again, Lauren isn't a threat. Yeah. Not Lauren, Kat. Kat isn't. I don't know why I keep calling Kat Lauren, but Kat isn't a threat. So, because
is there
Kelly
a big difference
at this point? Yeah. Right. Right. Because Lauren and Kat really haven't had a whole. Because even Lauren, when she was the HOH, last week before last, she let Vinny control her whole. I mean, Lauren always needs somebody else to tell her what to do. Yeah. That's the piece that's nauseating about her. She thinks she's playing a strong game. No, she isn't. She would never get the money if she got to the end. Never.
No.
Yeah, I think Kelly is definitely. It's looking like this is going to be her time to go if she does not win the blockbuster. Ava. I think that she still has a few votes that could be against her, but I don't think that. I think if Kelly is on that block at the end, it's going to be her. Well.
I think this is a double eviction week.
I think that usually they tell us when it's done, like maybe the next one, or maybe like once they end the blockbuster.
I don't know if they're going to end the blockbuster, because they said it's going to be for the season going forward. So I don't know if they're going to end it.
At some point last year, they ended the AI arena, and it got down to it was just 2 people on the block.
Yeah. I mean, we have like 4 weeks left of the show.
I think they have a 2-hour episode in 2 weeks on Thursday.
Yeah, and I think I've seen rumblings online about potential triple. So we got to get these people up out of here.
They've got to get at least a double in, because they've got to get to jury. I mean, this is kind of what they did with us, and we had 2 double evictions, and so I just really believe they're going to do 1 pre-jury, and that's why I say I really do believe this week is going to be a double eviction.
Okay.
All right. Be interesting.
What we're going to do is I want to take some questions from the audience here with Felicia, and then we'll talk about the live feeds as well. So if you have questions for Felicia, go ahead and post them in the chat. And before we get to the live feeds, I just want to thank our presenting sponsor for this episode of the podcast. Those are our friends over at Manta Sleep, makers of so many products that help you go to sleep. Now, Felicia, when you were in the house, I know you like to go to bed early, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so when these people are up and you're trying to get your rest, there's nothing that's better than some great masks and all sorts of sleep gear from Manta Sleep, because they're so adjustable. They've got the special cups with Velcro that you can move around to get it perfect, so you can have total blackout. Aman, they're great for during the day too, because I'm like Ava, okay? I love to get a nap in, just a short one in between a podcast or two. It's so great for blocking out all the light. You can customize it. It's so comfortable, especially when I'm traveling as well. It's great for any way you sleep. Go to mantasleep.com. Use promo code RHAP27 for 10% off your Manta Sleep purchase. And with that, let's go ahead and let us bring in our live feed talk for this week of Big Brother.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
Yes. Okay. Felicia's like, what is going on? What is this? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there's some people, we don't like to talk too much about the live feeds because people are like, hey, I don't want to know. I watched only the episode. But now, okay, we're taking off all the restrictions now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I don't know if there's that much that we've been hiding behind the live feeds, because Aman, this vote seems pretty much pretty straight and narrow right now.
Yeah, it seems pretty straight and narrow. And it looks like, even Kelly is sort of like of a similar mindset. She knows that she's probably going to be going out come tomorrow if she remains in the block. She does, however, say that she's going to really go out with a bang if she is going to be evicted. So, she says she has a whole speech planned. So I guess she's going to be calling out some people that have done her wrong.
She's got nothing, Felicia.
I don't know. She's had some conversations with Vince. She's had some she'll probably let it be known that she was in a final two with him. And she's had some conversations with, well, that's kind of pretty much it.
Yeah. Keanu has sort of like still been in her corner. He's, which I don't know is really a good thing for Kelly, because anybody that has Keanu in their corner is, going to get backed out of the corner. So, right. But he if she is to stay, he told her that he wants to make sure that he can still work with her. He still wants to mend whatever he's got going on with Rachel after they got into another fight the other night. So it's just, it's looking like the house is gearing up for Kelly to go. So, the only intrigue left really is the blockbuster.
Okay. All right. We'll see what happens there on Thursday night. Because, Felicia, you all had the last season without AI Arena blockbuster. Do you like it? Do you wish they would have had it in your season?
I think it would have made our season so much better.
Yeah,
if we had the AI blockbuster, because it would have forced and the competitions again. Like I said, if we would have had these competitions and the AI blockbuster, you wouldn't have seen the back to back.
Yeah,
the Jags and the cameras that just kept.
Jag would have never gotten evicted.
There you go.
Oh God.
I think he would have gotten evicted
with the AI Arena.
Yeah.
Maybe. You never know.
Yeah, we will never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Aman, anything else from the feeds that's been interesting for you?
No, I think that's kind of it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. By the way, Aman, how's your draft team going? What's the update for you?
I'm down to one left, yo.
One left.
I'm down to one left.
Who is it?
It's Morgan.
Okay, that's pretty good.
I don't really think so, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Oh, all the people that you had picked to go to the end.
So we do a draft, and there's 5 of us that are in the draft, and then the audience had Zay and Riley, so the audience is out. But the
Okay.
rest of us all have 3. I still have all of my people, but I am in danger of losing one of my players for the first time. And I have Katherine in the draft, and she could go home.
Yeah, Cat could go. You know, Kelly
Yeah.
sometimes like.
But my other 2, Felicia, are Keanu and Rachel.
Okay.
So I have the final 2. So if I lose Katherine, I lose Katherine.
I really considered going for the mystery box this time because we knew that Rachel was going to be in the house, but I was just so
I got
too
burned on it
trying
last
to do
year.
it. Yeah, but exactly. And I was like, I don't know if I should, because Rob really got screwed the last time. But I should have went with my Rachel senses. But yeah, I'm down to Morgan. You know, she's like I said before earlier, she's definitely improved her chances. I think she's in a lot better of a spot than she was last week. But
all right, Felicia, the first question is Felicia watching Suri on Survivor AU?
Well, remember I said I've tried to, but I don't know how to get to it.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, I sent Suri a text message and said, "Hey, I want to watch the Survivor Australia World." I said, but I don't know where to go. I didn't get a reply back, but
that's okay. We got you. We got the links. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, we were talking about it before the show, so we'll get Felicia the links. Now, are you a Survivor watcher normally?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We watched that from the beginning and since 2000, just like we watched Big Brother. We watched both of them from the very beginning.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll send you the links. Of course, we have those links as well for the patrons of RHAP. How about, here's one that from Sean who says, Ashley claims she's just waiting for jury to start playing. Do you believe her? We haven't talked about Ashley tonight. Felicia, what have you thought about Ashley?
I think she's kind of tried to play and I hope nobody gets it, but the dumb blonde. But I don't know. I think she just kind of has a goofy, funny, quirky personality. Now, she doesn't want them to realize she's a lawyer, because then they'll realize that she's way more strategic than they ever imagined. But I do think that kind of quirky goofiness really is her real personality too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think she's kind of playing in between. You're seeing the quirky goofiness of her. She's just not letting you see that intelligent side of her.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, waiting to play, she has been playing, in my opinion. Has she sort of been like as out in the open about the, driving the direction in which the game will go or the week will play out? Maybe not, but I think that she, today's episode, she's clearly one that likes to observe, likes to stir the pot, likes to put pressure on certain situations when she needs to. So she's playing the game. If she means maybe winning more competitions, I mean, well, good luck, or you can't.
She was the person who clocked that Mickey wasn't getting targeted in the challenge. Then also she was the person, who clocked, okay, this is what Kelly is trying to do to Rachel, and went back and told her. So she is observant.
Yeah,
she is very observant. She sees everything going on. I think
except the toilet paper that's on her backside.
I saw that.
You can't always bat 100, Rob.
Yeah.
But I think that she realizes too when she did land, didn't she? Because she landed on the block once.
I don't think so.
At the beginning.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Vince. I'm sorry, Vince. You're right.
At one point, she had everybody in the house mad at her, and so she finally realized that she had to shut up and stop talking.
That was the first time we saw Vince like, I don't know, I made a mistake. What was they thinking? Yeah. She won the veto. Yeah. Okay. All right. This is from Bonnie, who wants to know, Mama Fee, who do you think is in the best position to win?
Well, right now, Rachel, because everybody's scared to do anything with her.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
I don't disagree. I feel like that's Aman. That I know it's been, unthinkable, and I'm please don't blame me don't say that I put the jinx on her. But I just think that who else against this field would you say is the favorite? She has an uphill battle.
Right.
But I like her chances.
It's an uphill battle. So I mean, I do think that there's still a lot of room for her to go. So like if you don't want to say Rachel, I would still say, I mean, Vince and all of his icky crying. There's still a path for him, I believe.
I believe there's a path for Rachel, Vince, Keanu. I believe there's a path for Will.
I was about to say, I was like, Will, you know, if he's able to get a comp win in there from like towards the end of this, like,
yes,
I'm not mad about Will potentially snagging a few votes in the end if he's sitting in the. So you know, I think that this really is like this season is crazy. I think that it really is open field right now. There's a few people that I think that are kind of just like deadbeats. Maybe you don't have to really worry about Katherine. You don't really have to worry about Lauren at this point. You know, I think Ava still has a bit more of an upward trajectory to reach in order for her to really be a contender. But you know, it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say.
Yeah. How about from Lynn, who wants to know, Felicia, are you excited about The Amazing Race? I
am. In fact, actually, Jag contacted me week before last, and asked if I wanted to come to the premiere of that.
Oh.
And I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to make it, because I'm actually flying into Seattle on the same day that they're having it, and so I'm working that out. But I might be there. But I really am looking forward to watching it, just because it's all Big Brother people. I think that's going to be amazing.
Yeah. That's why it's The Amazing Race. Did they contact you to play on The Amazing Race Big Brother?
And no, absolutely not. I didn't even get a phone call.
Yeah. Would you have taken the phone call?
Actually, I would have.
Yeah.
Okay. I would have, but I think they probably thought that I couldn't do it.
Yes. Who would you have raced with? Your son, your husband?
Either my son or my husband. It would have been one or the other.
Okay.
Well, my son and my husband.
Would you
or if they let me do another player like these guys, who is it? Taylor and Kylan. Taylor and Kylan. I would have done a Mimi or a Sari. I would have played the game with them.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you and Sari were in the kayak together. It could have been. Yeah. But yeah, you and Mimi would have been really fun.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Who do you think Keanu would nominate if he wins HOH? Would he take the shot at Rachel?
At this point, I think he has to. I don't think that you really.
I think he might put up Rachel and Vinny. I think he puts up Rachel, Vinny, and Mickey.
Wow.
There's a lot of back and forth with him and Rachel, where they really are an up and down relationship. But you know, I do wonder what Rachel. I think it's like whether or not Rachel goes on the block. I think really depends on how Rachel would handle a Keanu HOH. Does she sort of just go scorched earth and is like, I know you're going to do it. Go ahead and do it. I'm going to fight my damnedest. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to get your ass out of here.
Yeah.
Or does she go, Keanu, like, I have been in your corner this whole time. You have been the one that has been messing this up. You have been the one that has like been breaking this trust. We can still make it to the end. We're still two big targets. Do not get rid of me. They'll come after you next. If she goes that route, maybe she survives the block, but I really don't.
But I think that Keanu would do it, and he would try to sell to her, I have to do it. But you're not the target, but I have to, because everybody thinks I'm coming for you. So if we don't do this, then everybody will know we're actually working together. And she'll be like, you dummy, they're gonna vote me out. It's like, no. It won't happen.
You don't understand.
You're not my target.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what he would do.
You're being Rachel from yesteryear. You got to think about now.
Yes. Okay.
Confidence.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. And it's going to be a great episode, I think, tomorrow night when we're going to get to see all of Keanu yelling at Vince. Did you see any of that, Felicia?
I didn't. Because I didn't watch any live feeds today.
Yes. I think it was, it might have been yesterday or even 2 days ago.
Okay.
Because Taryn had it on the update yesterday, so it might have been from even 2 days ago. So yeah, Keanu's going to be very upset with the results from these nominations that Katherine went on the block and not Rachel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then we've got from Reagan, Mama Fee, what did you think of the punishments this year? We loved you and Sari in the kayak.
They haven't really done a whole lot of punishments this year. I know they've been slim with the punishments.
Yeah, Vince was
and they haven't even shown any of the have-nots. I mean, they really downplayed the punishments.
Yes. Would you have had any issue having some of the snacks that Keanu was bringing around the house when he was the butler?
No.
Yes. You have no issue with different snack delivery systems?
No.
Yeah. It'd be fine. Yeah. Okay. Felicia, anything else on your mind about Big Brother 27?
I think they've actually had a good season in the sense that, I thought last year was unpredictable, but I think this year, I'll tell you something I've really appreciated this year is they've been willing to go against the grain. So you haven't had all unanimous votes. And I love that. People have been willing to vote more so the way they want to vote. And
which is interesting, right?
Because you had these split votes and stuff. I was so sick of our house with all the unanimous votes. It was dumb.
Well, it's so interesting because this has been a house in a season where so many people are like, oh, I can't make this person mad. I can't make this person mad. But when it comes down to it, Aman, we're not hearing so much. Well, I'm just voting with the house. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of kowtowing to people's faces and then doing what they believe to be best. And also trying to get Julie to change 25 seasons of tradition.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that they are very expressive with their votes. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Aman, anything else on your mind?
No, I'm just glad to be back. It's
great to have you back.
It's been a wild ride. Thank you so much. And I'm like soaking in all of what I've missed of Rachel's game, and it's been such an interesting animal to watch. So I'm just glad to be back in the mix.
Let me tell you about what else we have going on here on RHAP. Aman, check this out. I sat down with Derek Frazier, Big D. Big D and I went a one-on-one and had a very fun interview with Big D. He's somebody that I had been looking forward to talking to because he is somebody who I guess in a lot of ways, like Rachel, is going to say what's on his mind. He does not hold back his opinions and talked about a bunch of different things. And so a fun interview up with Big D right now. Then also I talked about week 2 of Australian Survivor versus the World with Shannon Gus. Of course, Shannon has daily coverage of all the episodes from Survivor AU versus the World up on her podcast on We Know Global Survivor, but you can check it all out on our YouTube channel. And then for our patrons, of course, we make it so easy for you to watch all of Australian Survivor versus the World. Even if you have Cerie's phone number and she doesn't text you back with the links, don't worry. We got you.
That's crazy, Cerie. Get on that.
Yeah. Okay. I talked about Survivor 49 is coming up, and if you want to know about who these 6 people are, I'll tell you all about them with Mike Bloom. Mike Bloom has had daily interviews every day with the Survivor 49 contestants. He went out to Fiji, and we talked about what we think is going to be going on with this tribe, the Red Tribe, over on our Survivor podcast feed. And last night on the Slop, Puya joined Chappelle and I to talk about all the nonsense. And boy, it was a sloppy night where we talked about so many different things that we cannot even mention right now, including Vince's acting career, which we got to break down a film that Vince was in.
I need to see that.
These men were slapping the hell out of Vince.
Well, that's something we all want to do from time to time. Cathartic.
So you could check that out. Over on Patreon, we also did a podcast about which new era tribe would you want to hang with? Who would be the best hang? Brandon, Donald, and I counted down the 28 tribes from the new era that you all voted on. Find out who would be the top hang and who's the worst over on our Patreon. And then also, tomorrow night, we're going to be discussing where is RHAP going on the road for Survivor 50 and beyond. We have a special town hall coming up on 6 o'clock before our Big Brother eviction for the patrons. I'll be live listening to pitches for where to take RHAP next year. And of course, you could check out what Felicia has to say among the many glitterati of the Big Brother community when you go over on Chat BCC. Felicia, you're having fun on Chat BCC?
I am. Like I said, I think I irritated them tonight. I got my first tomatoes and I got a lot of them.
A lot? How many tomatoes did you get?
Oh, I think I was like, well, let me see.
Just because you said that Keanu is giving it to Rachel and you like that?
Yeah, I said,
as you should. I agree.
I did that he has the galls to stand up to her, and they did not appreciate that.
What's wrong with that? Rachel wouldn't object to that.
You guys got to want him to play the game. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, thanks to our presenting sponsor tonight. Those are our friends over at
I had
Manta
404 tomatoes.
Okay. Not too bad. All right. Get 10% off Manta Sleep with promo code RHAP27. Felicia, this was such a delight for you to come back and talk with us about everything going on.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It was fun. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Hey, and Felicia, and you were somebody else who was such a joy to have on the season because you were somebody who played hard and then also was a fun character who kept everybody entertained in the Big Brother house.
You know, and I hear everybody tells me that, and they're like, man, you got, and what they don't realize is I really was just in there being me.
Yeah.
And I didn't
realize. But those are the best people.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, just, responding. I mean, there were a couple times where I probably went overboard, and I remember pulling Jag into a room one time and saying, how dare you do that? And blah, blah, blah.
I remember.
I specifically think about you trying to make the bed and then falling on top of the bed, or you finding fried chicken in your pocket maybe once or twice a week.
That when I found that price, like, why do I smell chicken? And they're like, chicken. I say, yeah, I am actually really smelling chicken. It's like, where the heck is it? And then I realized, oh my God, I put this chicken wing in my pocket yesterday.
Yeah. But Felicia, to me, that's what the show is supposed to be, of that, okay, we have found 16 of the most interesting people, and they're going to be fun to watch in the house where, hey, look, it's great when people can play the game, but at the end of the day, we need people who are going to be interesting to watch for a whole summer.
Yeah. And it was just, think about it. When you're in the house with 16 other people, strangers, and you have to figure out how to learn their personalities and navigate with them. And that's a lot. And so it really was an experience, but I enjoy people. I love people, and I love being able to figure people out. So it was interesting. I spent a lot of time. I would strategically sit in different places. I would sit on the couch and just watch who moved with who talked with who did what. And and then again, still wanting to be me. I mean, like when I wanted to go to bed at 10 and, they won't turn the lights out and Corey
that's
and
where you need a mask
in the room till 2 or 3. It's like, get your ass in the room so I can go to sleep.
I love whenever they show the meme of when everybody else was doing the pressure cooker and it was after your HOH and you were in the house watching them on the screen. Yeah, that's great. I love that.
I remember too, because when they were out there, and I thought, well, I'm just going to fix me something. Let me fix myself something to eat. And they came over the speaker and they said, Felicia, we need you to go in the living room and watch the competition.
And I'm like, was long. Watching food.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get to cook something. They said, no, we need you. So that's when I grabbed the bag of potato chips.
Yeah. Okay. And where's your endorsement, like Taylor?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been trying to figure out why isn't anybody calling me? Call me, like Traders and the Circle and what's that one about the $1 million? $1
Million Secret?
Yes. Oh, I love that one.
Oh, okay. I don't think they've brought in like previous reality stars yet, but they're going to do season 2.
Yeah. I love that one. What's
Tag
the other
account.
one where they Anonymous? I think Anonymous is great too.
Okay.
All right. We'd love to see it.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the calls.
Okay. Personally, I feel like Traders is up your alley.
Traders is all up my alley. I played it virtual a couple times. I would love to do that one live.
Wait till you check out that kitchen there.
Oh, Ooh, yeah. Yes. Any one of them where you're in a house and yes, I would do. Although I think in there they actually prep all their food they bring them the food. I don't think they're doing any cooking in there.
No, they don't have to cook.
No.
And then Aman, what's coming up for you?
You can find me everywhere at Aman Adwin. I am still going strong over at the Diary Room with Matt LaGoy, where we are trying to find the best Big Brother player of all time by doing a bracket-style competition. 6 players enter each episode. Only 3 will survive until we whittle it down to just 1. We are still in round 1. Felicia, we would love to have you as a guest if you would like to. Rob has already made an appearance on the show at some point, though. It's just been a lot of fun over there, and I am back here in the RHAP streets for BB27. So that's all I've got going on for now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. We love to see what you have to say in the comments. And then tomorrow night, we will be back with our live eviction recap coming up at 9:15 p.m. tomorrow night. Taryn, of course, will have the live feed update for you at 11 a.m. Eastern. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.